Welcome to the Nick and Rob Homer Hour, and we have a lot of news ahead. The NFL is going ablaze right now in the free agent season, don't you think, Rob?
Well, it typically does. I think this whole legal tampering period is ridiculous. Just go ahead and start the league here on Monday because if the legal tampering only starts at noon Eastern on Monday, how can they have deals completely done by 12:01, 12:05, etc.? So the tampering's already happening with the agents. Just go ahead and get it started and just get it going.
Yeah, the NFL is trying to take the worst parts about the NBA and trying to get that into their league, it looks like. But hey, it is what it is. It makes news. What do they say? The NFL is a 24/7 sport, all 360 days a year. So they're doing a really good job with that. We're going to talk about that some. Obviously, we're going to touch base with our Boston and Dallas sports teams. And then Rob came up with a really good idea. I'm a big fan of it. We're just going to talk about what we're excited about in the UFL and what to expect from the UFL for all you fans out there that have not watched it yet. We're going to try to talk you into it and explain it each week before the season starts, one reason at a time, and explain what makes the UFL so great.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's going to be a blast, but let's go ahead and kick it off to the Homer headlines, and we will be discussing the NFL shortly. Yeah, the free agency's going off, Rob. So what do you got so far? We're going to double team this thing.
Well, there's a lot going on. One of the things I'm interested to hear your thoughts are on is what's going on with Brandon Aubrey right now, and it looks like you could lose him. But I'm going to start with the two big things from my Patriots because they are newsworthy across the league, and then I'm going to talk about some quarterback movement because let's be honest, that's the most exciting thing. And Mike Evans did something that no one ever thought he'd do. He pulled a Tom Brady, but he didn't go to Tampa. He went somewhere else. So we got a lot to talk about, a lot of excitement, a lot of moving, a lot of shaking. But we'll of course start off with my Patriots, who through the first couple days of free agency, with their 50 million to spend, have not really spent a whole lot. They've mostly left me scratching my head on who they have brought in. For those of you that don't know, Stephon Diggs has been released. So wide receiver room has a gaping hole. Um, they failed to bring in Alec Pierce. Apparently, the price was a little too high for what they wanted to pay. Pierce is staying with the Colts for something like 110, 116 million dollars. So good for him. He said he wanted the quarterback situation in Indy solved, but it's not solved yet because uh, Daniel Jones knows the Colts need him a lot more than he needs the Colts. They offered him a Sam Darnold like deal with Seattle. He said, "Nah, how about 50 million a year instead of 30?" Which is absurdly greedy. Like at the same time, though, that only puts him right in the middle tier. 50 million a year would be 13th in quarterback pay, and honestly, that kind of lines up to where he sits when he's healthy. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Oh, Daniel Dimes is blowing my mind. Obviously, you could probably do a little bit bigger deal than 30 million that the Indianapolis Colts are doing. I get that. You got to play a little free agent stuff, and maybe that's what they're doing. They're lowballing, that he's highballing, and he's just trying to get the best deal out there. But man, this Danny Dimes thing is bizarre because when I heard 50 million a year, I'm like, yeah, I rarely say this. I always say players get whatever you got out there. Go get all your money, enjoy it, and do the best that you can. Danny Dimes, where's the gratitude? You were supposed to be a league backup until you went over to the Colts, and then you won the starting job, earned it. But what are we doing? What are you doing here? 50 mil?
He showed he's better than that, and I don't blame him because again, that would put 50 million a year would only put him just outside the top 10 in quarterback earnings annually. Honestly, a little bit ahead of Mahomes, but I mean, Mahomes gets so many endorsement deals. He's just fine. Um, so I don't blame his agent for doing that when he looks at the market, looks at where his quarterback is. Um, However, if I'm Indianapolis, I say, you know what? We don't know how you're starting next year. So we can front load this deal if you want, or we can back load this deal. But if I'm Indianapolis, I honestly don't want to do more than 2 years guaranteed with like guaranteed money with him because you don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how he's going to pop back. So it's exciting, it's fun, but then also Indy doesn't really have anywhere to turn on the free agent market unless they were to, bring in Kirk Cousins, or maybe they could re-engage the Cleveland Browns and bring in a Shadur or Dylan Gabriel. But yeah, Indy's in a tight spot, and Daniel Jones knows it. So we'll see how this irons out.
Yeah, I guess that's the ultimate question for the Indianapolis Colts. Can you find something the equivalent to or better than Danny Dimes?
I think you
And
can.
maybe not. Maybe not. You think you can?
Honestly, at this point, I would just sign. I mean, Kyler Murray's still out there.
You got Kyler Murray. You mentioned Kirk Cousins. I know he's a little washed up right now, but if you give him a very quarterback friendly offense, which, by the way, the Colts do a phenomenal job in that aspect,
Yeah, they have Jonathan Taylor.
and they have a hell of a defense. I mean, I don't know. I think this is
if
a bad time to play hardball for the Danny Dimes
if
crew,
I'm
but
Kyler
we'll see.
Murray, unless because I'm surprised the Minnesota thing hasn't happened with him yet. So if I'm Kyler Murray, I'm calling up, have my agent call up Indy and say, go ahead and just pay me the league minimum. I'll come out here on a 1 year, 2 year deal, show what I'm worth, and then go get a bigger deal. And the Colts can say, bye, Danny.
And and that's the ultimate question. Can Danny Dimes get a better deal anywhere else? I don't think he can.
No, Minnesota is not going to put that money out there because they want a stopgap to see. They want someone to push JJ. They don't necessarily need a full replacement. Cleveland can't give you that kind of money because they still got Deshaun Watson on the roster. Um, Miami got Malik Willis, which we'll dive into that because I'm upset for Quinn. Like there isn't a better option out there. But anyways, I did totally segue away from my Patriots because this Danny thing
Yeah,
is so fun.
I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah,
no, no, it's
yeah. I
fine.
got
No,
excited
'cause
too.
I went there because of the Alec Pierce thing. So the Patriots have signed Romeo Dubes to be their eighth wide receiver, number two, apparently. I don't like it. I was never a big Dubes fan. I really wasn't in Green Bay, but maybe that's just because Green Bay didn't have a great system for him. I obviously in Josh McDaniels we trust, but he's not until proven otherwise. He's not a wide receiver number one. He had the chance to prove that this year in Green Bay. He didn't. He showed he is like a wide receiver two, maybe even three. Um, so we'll see. Jury's still out. They are still in on AJ Brown. From the sounds of it, the Pats are hopefully just kind of bidding against themselves. So they're pretty much just going to wait until the Eagles say, "Okay, fine, have him for what you want, and we're not going to have to overpay." It sounds like AJ is quite happy to be reunited with Mike Vrabel. It was never Vrabel's choice, as far as I understood it back when I read it, to get rid of AJ Brown off the Titans. That was a front office thing, which started to lead to the Mike Vrabel's difficult theme, which is great for the New England Pats fans because now he's with us. Um, so yeah, so they did that. The other big thing, Nick, what is the thing I was yelling and screaming about that should be the number one priority? Possibly, like if they wanted to, that's the only thing they sign in free agency. That's what they use every single draft pick on, just to make sure we get it right. What did I really after the Super Bowl say they got to fix?
Offensive line.
Offensive line, and so they did that by trading away their starting center, who was pretty good, for a fifth round pick. But apparently they're going to move over one of their rookies, uh, Wilson, who started at guard last year. Apparently, he's more of a center, and they're going to go ahead and they're going to move him to center. He's going to be the starting center. Okay, but again, we need some life. Come on, bring something in. So they did off of the Jets. They brought Vera Tucker, Elijah Vera Tucker came on in. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing his first name correctly. I believe it is Elijah. And here's the thing: have you heard of him before, Nick?
That could be a good thing for offensive linemen. That could be a good thing. Usually when you hear names.
Here's why you haven't heard of him.
Okay.
Out of 85 possible games he could have played in his career, or been active for, let's say, been active for in his career, he's been available for 43 of them.
Ooh, injured.
So when he plays, he's lights out. By all accounts, everything I've read, the stats I've looked at, when he plays, he's lights out. However, he doesn't really play much. He's always hurt. And we just went ahead and we handed him a big old 3-year contract. Granted, one thing they did with that contract, which was helpful, is it's in there for the duration of the contract. He gets a $250,000 bonus for every game that he's on the active roster. So he's active, ready to play. So every game that he's active and eligible to play, he gets which is almost over 4 million bonuses. But if you're having to do that, there were better options out there, weren't there? But you know what? The Jets are a dumpster fire. Maybe they looked at it and said, and they talked to their sports medicine people, and they're like, "Oh, we can keep him healthy. Let's bring him in."
Yeah, maybe. And sometimes offensive line's real weird when you get into the backup scenarios too. So maybe you're just looking for a rotational piece, and I don't know who you're going to attack in the draft.
We also let go of our top backup, Verdian Lowe. He's now with the 49ers as the Giants are getting ready. As the 49ers are getting ready to probably trade away Trent Williams because Williams is asking for too much money. I know. We technically have our left tackle in Will Campbell. Trent Williams is a lot older and he's very much in his prime. Will Campbell's not there yet. Trade if we truly think we can contend with a better offensive line. We have the cap space. Trade for Trent Williams. Move Will Campbell over. Move him into guard for a little bit. He can learn from Trent Williams, and then he can be the heir apparent. This is not necessarily a knock on Will Campbell. He showed he's not there yet.
Yeah.
He can be. He can be, but he's not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he had a good regular season. I think what the Patriots are counting on is the fact of the matter, like he must have just been injured in the playoffs and he was their best option there, but he was awful in the playoffs. There's no getting around it. He is a rookie. We're not trying to besmirch him and say it's over for the Patriots on Will Campbell, but that was bad. That was really bad. And the thing about offensive linemen is if you just keep a rotation going in there, so if you go get that guy, you could basically give me all the good players. I'll figure the rest out later. If I have to move him to guard or right tackle, I'll figure that out. And I think that's what the Patriots should have done.
And I mean, that's essentially what they did with their line last year. They said, screw what position you're supposed to be. We're going to put the best ones out there, which is how Wilson was at guard and not at center. Picked up a 5th-round pick, but, maybe they could have gotten a little bit more. I don't know. A lot of value is placed on 4th and 5th-round picks. But, there's also a lot of value in this draft towards the middle to top of the first round in quality offensive linemen, and the Pats aren't there. So are they going to put together a move to move up there? We'll see. But so far...
You might take you might take one of the Cowboys picks.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be great. That would be great contact. That would be great content for us to do that. But right now, I'm underwhelmed. I still trust my front office. I still trust in Vrabel. We trust. But right now, they're at a C-.
Yeah. They're acting very strange because they should.
They got money.
I was going to say, I don't check their cap. I didn't really keep too much of an idea on that. I just know Drake May is still on his rookie contract, so you don't have to overpay a quarterback. I don't know any other position that you just have a ridiculous top paid position player out there, and you should have plenty of cap space. You guys can't money whip anyone in the Drake May window, like anybody. And
Yeah.
then that's what I find a little bizarre for the Patriots. Like the time to strike is now to get free agents without worrying about the cap hit.
And hey, you know what? If they can bring in AJ Brown, I'm bumping their offseason grade up to a B plus. So
Yeah.
so now, anyways, off my Patriots. You're all like, yeah, Rob, shut up. Talk about the rest of the moves. So the other things, I'm scrolling through the newest stuff for today. So far, nothing too exciting. It does look like the Panthers are completely remaking their offensive line, which is good for the Panthers. They bring in a bunch of guys. The Commanders are trying their best to steal away Kayvon Chason from the Pats. Hopefully, we can hang on to him. The quarterback move we've all been waiting for, Nick. We've all been waiting for it. Teddy Bridgewater.
Maybe not.
He's going to stay with the Lions.
I was worried about that.
I know you were worried.
I was worried about that. I was worried about that. Woo! They got their backup. Good.
The biggest move we've seen so far happened pretty quick, and it was surprising to me because everything Miami has done has said we are tearing down, we are full rebuild, we want a top 5 draft pick next year. We're strip it to the studs, rebuild it under a new vision, under a new coach, which is acceptable. You would think that means, okay, Quinn Ewers, you're rolling with him, and maybe later on in free agency you bring in a Kirk Cousins if he's still available. You bring in another veteran that may have been cut to pair with Quinn, but you're not worried about winning games. You get to see what Quinn's made of, how he can handle everything. No, instead they went and they signed. I mean, it was a short-term deal. I believe it was for only 3 years. Let me scroll out and find it. But they go ahead and they bring in Malik Willis, while also, of course, paying $90+ million for Tua to play elsewhere. So very, very interesting with that. So the deal for Malik Willis, there's so much going on. My goodness, I'm scrolling and I am scrolling.
I don't have the contract. I have the pickup. I don't have the I don't have the contract for Malik Willis, but I see the pickup. It can't be much.
Yeah, it's 3 years. It's not a ton, which is surprising because you'd think like his agent would have really gotten the market moving on him and gotten a bidding war between teams like Minnesota, Miami, Indianapolis, etc. Because that's like Indy could have very quickly just pivoted and given Willis more money and said, "See ya," to our boy Daniel Jones, but they didn't, which was super interesting. Instead, so you sign Malik Willis. It seems like you're saying we want him to be our quarterback for the future. We want to win games, but that's not what they did. That's not what they're doing everywhere else on the roster, which is just really, really
shocking. I'll tell you one thing: the Tua thing cannot get skewed over. You're telling me that guy was so bad for your locker room or whatever the case may be that you're willing to pay $99 million just to eat it? You just ate it by cutting him?
And I mean, also no one was going to take him. The best scenario would have been doing a flip, which now that they found Malik Willis, I'm like, why didn't they do this? Do a flip with Arizona. That didn't happen. So I've got the deal. It's 3 years, $67.5 million. So you're paying that kind of money. Unless something dumb happens, he's going to be your starter for this season. But remember, we don't have a lot on. He was, every few years we get a guy like this. Kevin Cobb back in the day out of Philly, the Arizona overpaid him. Matt Flynn from Green Bay. Seattle overpaid him and then immediately ended up starting Russell Wilson when a rookie Russell Wilson that was drafted in like the 4th or 5th round beat out Flynn in training camp.
Yeah,
Brock Osweiler,
I remember.
Houston gave him a ton of money after what he did in Denver, essentially leading Denver to a Super Bowl that then Peyton Manning started when Manning was not very healthy. And then obviously we know that Osweiler ended up being traded essentially for nothing to Cleveland because Cleveland back then was like, we have the cap space, we'll just take them from you, and like they got a pick out of it.
Yeah,
So it seems like Malik Willis is heading towards this trajectory, also because he's got like last year he had like 28 snaps that he played. It's not a lot of tape.
I don't understand this Malik Willis, and what am I missing? What am I missing? Because the NFL's talking, ranting and raving about it. I'm going, he's all right. He's a good backup. what? Am I missing something? Like, is he supposed to be a hidden stud? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't think he's worth that much money. I'm right there with you. You got to pick your poison here, Dolphins. Are you tanking or are you not tanking? And that puts him in a weird position because he is a solid backup. I'm not denying that. I just don't think he's your game changing starter. And I would rather go with Quinn Ewers over Malik Neighbors.
Especially
I don't even think the job's guaranteed.
right. I would agree, especially when you look at it and you're like, we're not. But at the same time, I guess the logic is you're trying to make sure you keep A-Chain and Waddle happy because you proved you didn't want to let go of them. And I guess this was the move to do it. But also, Miami wasn't that far off at all. You didn't have to tear it down to the studs like they're choosing to do. You could have brought in a few more pieces.
Yeah. They weren't that far off. Me and you were saying they shouldn't even have fired their coach, McFarland, sorry,
McDaniel, Mike McDaniel.
McDaniel. A lot of mix. But yeah, McDaniel should not have been in it. Like I don't even think they should have fired him. So I don't know. Dolphins are just doing some weird stuff. We can rant and rave about them for a while, but cutting to they're not making sense. I don't know their logic right now, and I'm trying to figure it out, but I guess it'll make more sense after the draft. I guess that's what I'm hoping for.
From one dumpster fire to another, you talked about Tua. Let's transition here. He's going to go play for the Falcons. If I'm Bijan Robinson, I say, what did I do in my past life where I used to start and dominate college football on the field that's behind me as my screen, and now instead I'm stuck in this purgatory where this has been the Falcons offseason so far. And yes, Penix is hurt. He's going to take a little time to come back. They did they cut Kirk Cousins. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
They brought in
they should.
Yeah.
They should.
They brought in oft-injured Tua, but before that, they used their franchise tag. Who'd they franchise tag? Kyle Pitts. Who he had the best year. He's had the best year of his career last year when Arthur Smith's gone. He's finally being used properly. He's healthy.
Yeah.
But no one was going to pay him franchise tag is an average of the top 5 salaries at your position?
Yeah, I'll look that up actually while you're going on your rant for tight ends.
No one was going to pay him top 5 money. They bid against themselves.
It's a little weird. Yeah, I don't think so. He's just so talented though that I think they were just counting on other players possibly wanting him. Oh, that's not it. Sorry, I did a bad Google. What did I write? Tight end. Sorry.
I think this is all going back to they made a mistake not going with Mr. Jordan Hudson. They should have hired that guy as their head coach. They'd be in a better position than they are right now. They never would have drafted Michael Penix. And Penix has been functional when healthy, but you don't give Kirk Cousins all that money and then immediately draft Penix.
Oh, I'm weird on that. Actually, I didn't have a problem with that. Similar to Aaron Rodgers.
At 8 overall, a month after you signed Kirk Cousins to a record deal.
Well, this is actually bringing up a really legitimate point. I think what I don't like about the NFL free agency, and not like I'm pretty sure the NBA they do it before. I might be getting it wrong. They do their draft before, but and I know the players don't want this. The Players Association, they want the free agency before the draft, but I can't stand. Yeah, like I want the draft and then the free agency, but I get why the players wouldn't want that.
The players make more money with it this way.
Yeah, yeah, and I get that. But the NBA, they do it with the draft, and then you could piece your puzzle together with the free agents. And I think because of things like that,
quick. The draft's still in June. It's pretty quick after the end of the finals.
Yeah, well, I think the Atlanta Falcons were in a weird position where they didn't know how severe their quarterback situation was. They probably didn't count on Michael Penix actually falling to him, who I'm a big Michael Penix fan.
So he was 8th. No one had him. Almost no one had him off the. Now, granted, in the lead up to that, especially after I watched him 2 years in a row in a bowl game, beat up on the Longhorns, I was like, I'd take Michael Penix in the draft to be the New England quarterback of the future, but no one really had him going in the top 10. He was a first-round talent, but I don't know.
Maybe they were counting on other players. Like maybe they were getting tea leaves, maybe fooled by other teams by saying, yeah, we're going to get him, or whatever the case may be. I just think the Atlanta Falcons were in a rock and a hard place there. And then when they was their guy.
They did it to themselves
by getting Kirk Cousins.
If you're even thinking about that, you don't sign Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, terrible decision. Absolutely, and you're absolutely right for believing that. But I don't know. So now you said Tua is going to go over there, which is kind of strange. I just have no clue. I have no clue what they're doing. Now, he's on the veteran minimum, though. So it's no harm, no foul for the Atlanta Falcons.
Right. And he could have gone like the Falcons were a team that needed a quarterback. Obviously, Indy was there. Arizona. Cleveland's always there. But he was never going to do more than the veterans minimum because Miami's paying for everything else.
Yeah. $100 million. I can't believe it. I cannot believe they cut him for that much. He must have been that bad. He must have been that bad in that locker room for them to say,
"Oh, he
sign the check, see ya."
And I think a lot of it's because of all the hits that he's taken. But we spent most of the season essentially mocking his press conferences. He talked about how he would never be at Josh Allen's level. He said also he talked about how the leaders of the team were letting the team down when he wore a C on his chest.
I shouldn't laugh. I really shouldn't laugh because I feel bad for him, man. I mean, if he's that messed up, he was known as an excellent leader over in Alabama too.
Yeah.
So I almost feel bad. Like I hope he's going to be all right later on down his life, because that's what I'm more concerned about. Not even his football career. A lot of people even said that when he had his second major concussion injury, maybe sit it out, buddy. You already collected a bunch of money. Maybe you should not be in the league anymore. But here he is. He's still chugging along, and we'll see how he does for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, for sure. A fun little pivot. I know we've been talking about quarterbacks. We have another reclamation project that I think is fascinating. But a little subtext that I've seen, and I think it has a lot to do with the changes within special teams and how we saw teams handling it. Punters are cashing in early in free agency. Have you noticed this?
I have not. So what you got on that, actually? I have not seen that.
So far, Jordan Stout who was with the Ravens, he's staying with his boy John Harbaugh. he has signed a 3-year, $12.3 million deal, making him the NFL's highest paid punter, and of course, reuniting him in there. And I think a lot of it, you could argue Michael Dixon could have been the Super Bowl MVP with what he did for Seattle. And I think a lot of people are like, wow, with where the kickoff rules are, with position play, with kickers being able to kick 60, 65-yard kicks now that they can massage the balls all they want. YouTube, I'm talking about NFL footballs. YouTube, footballs, NFL. All of a
Football.
sudden now, field position has mattered more than it's mattered in a very long time. And Michael Dixon showed what you can do with field position and how you can dominate it. And so we've got that signing. I'm trying to pull up a more. Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you one thing.
Let's see. The Bills have signed a punter as well. We've got they re-signed their punter to a 1-year deal, and I'm trying to find it right now. The New Orleans Saints also did a big punter signing as well. Punters are cashing in; they're making money.
Which is so strange because I was just looking at an article today talking about the fourth down conversion rate. So back in 2014, teams didn't go for it on fourth down more than 50%. If you went over 50%, you were like considered psycho. And the only one that did it was John Harbaugh, which is crazy. Now, the bottom of the league is still above 50% in going for it on fourth down. It's just the way it is in the league now. And still, punters you think would be the guys that would pay the price on that have not. And looking at the way the playoffs went, especially on the AFC side, looks like we're going back to more field position play, hardcore defense, and the defenses are catching up big time with the offenses. And
which
I guess,
great.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, I love the art of. I remember when the Kansas City Chiefs beat, who was it? The Denver Broncos, 52-49, and it was announced on national television, offenses are dead. Or no, defenses are dead. And I remember going, no, I watch a lot of NFL. These coordinators get paid too. They're going to find a way to stop this somehow, some way. Bill Belichick was a key to that, by the way. Playing a nickel coverage with the defensive tackles, using them as the main force, not the defensive ends. And now we're here. Now we're at a point where the defenses have caught up. They're playing better, and now it's up to the offenses to come up with some new schemes and things like that to beat them. So good on you, punters. Pat McAfee somewhere is smiling right now, I'm sure, because he always said, and then who was it? I forgot the guy's name, but that said that kickers are people too. I forgot. It's a famous NFL analyst, but yeah, whatever. That famous quote is applied to the punters. Congratulations to the punters. I'm glad Rob just jumped in. We'll go ahead and just post this real quick. We got Horo Games. I follow him on Horo Games. By the way, if you guys want to just watch some good video game content, he's a really good, fun watch. They're a blast. And he just gave me a shout out, and had our corn on the cob reference. So he's a big fan over there. For sure. If you guys know anything about us making picks, we make picks better than a corn on the cob. Sometimes.
Well, before we go any further, we have breaking news as of Pro Football Talk posted 13 minutes ago. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've seen this. Breaking news.
Nope.
Max Crosby is back on the market. The Baltimore Ravens have backed out of their trade agreement for Max Crosby. Las Vegas Raiders posted 14 minutes ago. The Baltimore Ravens have backed out of our trade agreement for Max Crosby. We will have no further comment at this time. That is absolutely wild. All right, New England Patriots, get in there now. Get in there before the Cowboys do. Make an offer. Tom Brady, stop being a jackass. Let Max Crosby come to New England.
I can't
I would.
believe.
I know we need offensive line help. I know we do, but we're probably losing Chase on. He's probably gone. Someone's going to overpay him. We're not going to want to pay him that much. Go ahead and wipe. There you go, Nick. Someone's going to want to pay him. Good for him. He's earned it. I'm happy. Give up our first round pick. And I don't know, Kayshon Boutte. I love Boutte. Kayshon Boutte, Matt Collins, one of them for Max Crosby. Because the Raiders need someone to catch the football.
Yes.
And we've got Dubes, and now hopefully we'll also get A.J. Brown or someone else in there. I'm okay with giving up a first-round pick. Hell, if you think you're going to make the playoffs and make a deep run again, give up next year's too. Look
That's
at the
what I'm
Rams.
saying.
Look at the Rams. The Rams
Yeah.
say F them picks all the time.
Yeah.
They're doing just fine.
In order for anyone to get him, you're going to have to drop 2. I hate to break it to anybody out there. Micah Parsons went out for 2. That's what you're dealing with. He's a little older than Micah. So that's the market. It's 2 first-round draft picks, especially in your draft position. You could acquire him, though.
Let's be real. For the most part, you don't win a Super Bowl with a first-round draft pick or even a second-round draft pick. You win them with your depth piece drafts, with your diamond in the rough picks that you get in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round, maybe even 7th. All right. That's
yeah.
I mean, Brock Purdy, 7th round. Tom Brady, 6th round. So many the NFL drafts people in the 4th and 5th round, expecting them to either be a role player in a rotation or a starter. And there's a reason for that. Meanwhile, first-round picks wash all the time. Go get you a Max Crosby. And if I'm Jerry, hell, send Brandon Aubrey to Vegas.
Yeah. We'll see. There's a lot going on the defensive end position. I guess this is a good transition for the Dallas. The only other thing that I missed, or I feel like we missed, you got.
Well, hang on. Crosby, I know we're still on this. Albert Breer posted 5 minutes ago. Crosby was in Baltimore today. He posted today a photo of the Ravens stadium. So he must have failed his physical.
Could it be a failed physical, or were the Ravens getting wet feet on the trade? Because none of these are guaranteed. We just talked about that. This is the tampering period. I know this all too well in the NBA.
What happened with the Mavericks a few years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, well, a long time ago now, but like it can happen where you just pull out. Now the thing is, though, I think Crosby wants to go.
Yeah,
I think Crosby wants to be there. Yeah,
he wants to win. But if you're Baltimore, he better be crippled, and no one's But he apparently didn't need surgery. He's supposed to be fine. This is wild.
Tough. Yeah, that was wild. And I knew some breaking news was coming out because on our way to the back from work, I'm already reading new NFL leaves going on there. So I wasn't too shocked that we're going through this right now where some breaking news happens. But that was a shocker, though. I didn't expect that. I just expected someone to sign someone while we're talking. What you just found out is how about a reverse signature where he's not signing and or in this case a trade.
All right.
Weird situation.
Ian Rappaport 8 minutes ago at Rap Sheet. He failed his physical. So maybe you don't need a first round pick anymore. I don't know.
What could he have failed?
It's got to be with his knee.
I guess. Yeah. That's bizarre. That's bizarre. He hit it that well because he was playing well at the end of the season.
The Ravens shut him. The Raiders shut him down because they said he needed to get an operation, get it fixed. For but he came out and said, "No, I don't. I can play through this. It's fine." And then he released video of him jumping up and down on his trampoline. So,
By the way, we got a MSU Detroit fan who's posted on here, and looks like he's saying that the Lions need defense. Heard Max Crosby is available again, so he is counting.
Lions need defense. Teddy Bridgewater's not going to solve everything.
Talk about a sick combo for the Detroit Lions. No.
Oh my
You're not getting them.
Aiden Hutchinson and Max Crosby.
Don't do this to the NFL.
If they can both stay healthy.
It's coming out of the Cowboys fan in the NFC.
That would make a defense in the NFL must watch. That's hard to do. I love defense. I know you love one of my favorite Super Bowls of all time. The final score was 13-3. I love defense, but people don't tune into games for defense. People would tune in for Lions games for defense, and I would say you'd probably see, if you didn't see an NFL records for team sacks. Come on. Oh, Max Crosby did go to Eastern Michigan. There's your local connection.
Hey, we got a local connection too. He's from the Dallas area. Back off, okay? Detroit Lions, okay? Back off.
I think the Pats also have a local connection. I'm pretty sure he set foot in New England at some point in his life. No, possibly even in the stadium. I think he was in the stadium week 1 last season.
He probably played.
He wanted to see what it was like.
Yeah, he probably played Boston College. Maybe that's the best you got.
The Raiders beat New England in New England week 1 last year.
Oh, I got you. So that's the connection. You got to find a connection to get it done. And he liked it there, according to reports. Right? You know.
MSU Detroit fan, thanks for joining in on the chat. Get your friends over here. Get them joining in too. We're happy to have that. The other quarterback that I was going to bring up, now that it was already underwhelming, it's now after this news very underwhelming. Geno Smith's going home.
Yeah, he's going back to the Jets.
To the Jets. At this point, with what the Dolphins and the Jets are doing, the Pats and the Bills one of them could stumble to 7 wins. They could both stumble to 7 or 8 wins and still be 4 wins clear of the other 2 teams. That is, if the Pats and the Bills don't sweep both of those teams next season, that's just sad.
Weird pickup, but it was a late round draft pick. You're just looking for a quarterback to play right now. I think the Jets are counting on getting someone in the draft. Man. Your boy Fields.
And the Jets they've been very, except for this Geno Smith trade, which was essentially for a 6th-round pick. Mine as well. They've been going all in on defense, not surprising with Aaron Glenn as the coach, and with the fact that they, kept dropping footballs and couldn't catch an interception all season. So they're dialing up the defense, and, they're doing that. Breece Hall, though, did make some comments with all the money flying around, and he's like, where's the help on my side? Well, Breece, you got Geno.
Yeah, you're good to go, bud.
To be fair to Geno, Pete Carroll brought him in for a reason. Geno balled out in Seattle in a reasonable structure. Where Geno Smith has failed has been with the New York Jets. Who's the last quarterback other than Chad Pennington? Question mark that's been moderately successful for the Jets.
I think
Aaron Rodgers does not count. Brett Favre for half a season before his elbow or something blew out. I forget.
They didn't get the Minnesota version.
Yeah, no, I think he went to Minnesota to a good structure, a good locker room, got healthy and balled out. I think Joe Namath's their last truly functional quarterback, and that's saying something. So yeah, if I'm Breece Hall, I'm going, guys, can you just trade me? You can get a 1st-round pick for me. Speaking of running backs, though, Kenneth Walker. What do you think about the Kenneth Walker deal?
So I actually didn't catch a Kenneth Walker deal because I was under the impression that he is one of the people not signed yet. So if you got some sort of news on the Kenneth Walker front, I'd like to
He
know
was
about
the
it.
first big story.
I guess
Chiefs.
I missed it.
He's to the Chiefs.
Good pickup for the Chiefs, I guess. Yes. Yeah. I got to look up how much he got paid. Kenneth. Yeah, I missed that one.
That was the first. Yeah, I mean, it was almost immediate. That was one of those where it's like, really?
Must have missed that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on here. I mean, I get it for the Seattle Seahawks front. You know, they're getting to that point where the cap's starting to get up to them. I mean, you're talking
you don't need to spend. You don't need to spend money on a running back.
No, and it's a 3-year contract, $28.7 million guaranteed money. The Chiefs can get away with it. I think their defense is really good. They need a good running back. I really like Pacheco, but he's got the same syndrome that that like a lot of running backs do, where he's just running himself into a wall, and it's just not working out for him. So like there's going to be a certain point where those hits will catch up on you. Kenneth Walker, though, $28.7 million for 3 years. I mean, I guess you're getting him on the twilight years, and it's going to work out. Risky business for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not sure if I'm cool with that. And speaking of which, when is Kelsey ever going to leave the Chiefs?
This is probably his last year. He signed a 1-year deal.
We said that 3 years ago.
He didn't want to retire yet. I think he wants to. He either wants to finish off in the playoffs, or if they don't do it this year, he wants to. Taylor Swift said, "As long as you do whatever I want for the wedding, and you don't make a fool out of yourself at the wedding, you can go play for 1 more year, and then retire to be a house husband." Which we know. I mean, honestly, his podcast with his brother is amazing. He'll probably make more money, as long as the world doesn't just end. He'll probably make more money in media than he ever did playing.
Yeah, and I guess that's the part that shocks me is, he's got a good gig. Like, he knows what life's like post-retirement, especially with his brother, Jason Kelsey, over there. So I don't understand why he isn't doing it, but, if he wants to play, he wants to play. Go for it. I'm telling you, though, he looked pretty bad last year. He looked relatively slow. Sorry, Taylor Swift. And another issue that I have with it is a lot of Swifties are wanting Taylor Swift to have a halftime show, and she will not do it if the Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. So another year of no Taylor Swift? How can the Swifties put up with this? Think about the Swifties at this point. Kelsey.
Unless Mahomes has a miracle, the Chiefs are not going to be in the Super Bowl next year.
Okay.
Mahomes probably isn't even going to be ready for week 1. They're going to have someone else starting.
Yeah, that's a good point. The thing is, once they're in, that's all it takes.
They just need to get in. They just need to get in. But they didn't. And honestly, the other teams in their division, unless you're the Raiders, haven't taken a step back. The Broncos are primed to keep going. Well, there'll be some regression, but they'll be right there. The Chargers, the offensively challenged Chargers, brought in Mike McDaniel. They're going to be just fine.
That's a good pickup.
Honestly, right now, I would put the Chiefs as the 3rd best team in the AFC West.
Possibly. I'm a Patrick Mahomes believer, but we'll see how it works out. I'm just, I think they approach every year with a lackadaisical focus on it because they just expect to make the playoffs, and they realize the world is not rainbows and unicorns. This isn't an easy league. You don't just win that way. And by the time they realize what kind of trouble they were in, somewhere around Thanksgiving against Dallas, I think by then it was too late and they couldn't get back into the playoffs. So we'll see, though. Maybe they're going to have a different approach there. I just know Patrick Mahomes. I wouldn't count him out. Call me Chris Collinsworth, Rob.
You can't count him out. Logic says it's Not gonna happen. Um,
Yeah.
but what else? What else did we miss? What else do you have circled that we
Um,
missed? I mean, a lot's gone on. Max Crosby, that's breaking news.
I think you nailed it. You got Mike Evans moving over,
Oh,
right, for 3 years,
we
60
mentioned
million.
we previewed him, but then we didn't actually talk about him. He went to the Niners. Good money. Granted, he's going to pay a ton more in taxes than he's ever paid because he's gone from Florida, which has no income tax like Texas, to California, which has one of the highest, if not the highest. It's them or Massachusetts. I'm not sure. Um, but good for Mike Evans. He's like, you know what? I've done everything I possibly could do in Tampa. I've done everything I can do. I want to
Yeah.
go somewhere else. And you know what? He could be that piece if the Niners can figure out how to stay healthy. Um, if they can all wear their tinfoil over their helmets to make sure they're okay during practices. Um, um, he's the
So,
piece Brock Purdy needs that he hasn't had.
yeah. Yeah. And Brock Purdy does need it, and I think Mike Evans is going to be a good matchup for him. Um, so it's going to be fascinating seeing if he can work with the wide receiver like that. The big one that I saw right now is Joey Bosa. He doesn't look like he's going back to the Bills. A lot of people are predicting that he's going to make it over to the 49ers with his brother,
With
but
his brother. All right.
right,
That
Nick
that
Bosa.
makes
But
sense. He's
no, I'm sorry.
but
Yeah,
they're both so hurt all the time.
it's an interesting one out there, but he hasn't found a place yet, so he's not there. This one's
He's
really
gonna
Cowboys related. Oh, go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead,
I was
Rob.
gonna say he's gonna take a little bit to sign. He's gonna want more than people are gonna want to give him. I think he doesn't go anywhere until Trey Hendrickson does,
Yeah,
and
and
or
that's
Max Crosby gets solved.
yeah, well, the Max Crosby, that being a trade, I think that's just a little bit of a different situation, but his injury might be causing issues, though. Could you imagine? Could you get any more Oakland Raiders than that? You can't even get first round draft picks for the guy that you could have traded all throughout the year last year when you realize your team's a dumpster fire and they never did it. And now you're in this position where you might not be able to get rid of the guy.
Yeah.
So the time already passed on you. Um, you just touched base on it. This is the biggest one I think right now because everyone's saying the best pass rusher out in the free agency is Trey Hendrickson,
That's true.
and Trey Hendrickson is asking for $30 million a year, which is top of the line dollar for a defensive end. And the fact of the matter is, Trey Hendrickson. He's pretty old, and like I don't think he's going to be able to get that kind of money. And so basically, a bunch of teams are sitting there waiting on it.
Until Jerry pays 40.
Was that is that the right question? I don't think the Cowboys can right now. We're going to look for one defensive end. Could it be Bosa? Could it be Trey Hendrickson? I'm not too sure, but we already did acquire a pass rusher from the Giants, who was their first round draft pick. The same time Micah was a first round draft pick, but he hasn't worked out as great. He's a great pass rusher at stopping the run, but he's not as good at getting sacks. He's got 46 and a half sacks in his career. But Rashawn Gary, we traded for a fourth round draft pick, just trying to get a solid piece on the defensive end. This is screaming to me Christian Parker style, though, because he's a two-tech player. He could play linebacker as well. So I think he's a good fit for us. It's a very Cowboys free agent, quick little pickup. And I think it's a good piece. The question is, can we get Trey Hendrickson? And rumor mills are all over the map saying that the Dallas Cowboys are the favorite target. And I'm waiting for the dart to land on the freaking target, but it just doesn't seem to be happening right now. I could just be in Twitter zeitgeist full of Cowboys media, so maybe I'm just going insane here, but all the tea leaves seem to be pointing in that direction, at least from what I'm seeing. It could be my little zone here. What do they call that? Echo chamber. So that is a possibility, but I think it would be a really good pickup for the Cowboys. Why not? If you're going all in, Trey Hendrickson's a great option for you to take advantage of and get him onto your team.
Yeah, for sure. But Jerry loves to say he's all in, and then he doesn't actually back it up. He knows how to hype his fans up. He knows how to hype people up, and then he falls short. It's what he does. It's what he's done for 30 years. Jerry Jones can't win without Jimmy. Bill Parcells couldn't win without Bill Belichick. Jerry Jones can't win without Jimmy. That's how the world goes. I agree with you. They should sign Trey Hendrickson. I don't know if 30 mil is the right number when you're kind of. I mean, they've restructured Dak, they've restructured CD, but they're doing those restructures because they're trying to bring in Pickens, who yes, he makes that offense unbelievably all time elite. But I don't think that was a wise use of their resources to franchise tag him. I've been saying that the whole time. I know you like the move. You want them to keep Pickens. I thought it made sense for them to let Pickens go, and then use that money elsewhere because you can always bring in another stud young wide receiver, even as late as the 4th round, with the way college offenses are now. But Pickens and Dak have a chemistry, so I get that.
And it's a wide receiver that you have to have that kind of chemistry with because George Pickens runs his own routes. Period. End of story. He just does. And it's not out of being a bad player or a bad teammate. George Pickens runs them because he knows this is where I'm going to be open. Obviously, he follows the schematic somewhat. If it's a slant, he's going to run the slant. It's just a matter of, am I going to go under the linebacker or above the linebacker? I'll make the choice on that. And having that kind of connection with Dak was unstoppable last year. Yes, he had that one.
It was.
It's a beast of a move. So when you find that kind of combination, and by the way, speaking of off season, did you see what's going on with Dak in his marriage? What's going on there?
No. Is he getting divorced?
It's not looking good. So the point is, get him a wide receiver. Okay, by the end of this, and if George Pickens is it, it's it. But if you guys haven't kept up with Dak Prescott's marriage situation, definitely take a chance to look at it. We don't know if it was Dak committing adultery or her or whoever. We don't know. We don't know the case. But right now they are in a big dispute. The wedding is called off, Rob, and that's his baby mama. So it's really interesting. I've heard rumors that she didn't want to sign the prenup, and that's why they broke up. I don't know what's.
They've been together since college, right?
Yeah. Some weird's going on. They're definitely not together.
She had earned not signing that prenup.
I don't know. But she's accusing him of cheating on her. So I don't know. We got a lot of weird things going on. The point is, Dak needs a constant. And if that constant is George Pickens, get that man over there to help him out. And I think you want to know where I put George Pickens in the wide receiver column? I like him better than CD Lamb. That's how much I like George Pickens. He's that good. He's that unique at running a route. I've never seen a wide receiver do the stuff that he does. And I find it very fascinating, very fun to watch, and a reason why he ended up getting more yards than CD Lamb. It wasn't by happenstance. I just think Dak Prescott knows how to work with the guy, and George Pickens knows how to be a smart wide receiver. Is he psycho? Goes with intelligence, I think. And you just have to kind of figure that part out. But the man loves the game, and I love the way he runs his route. So give me George Pickens.
If you had to pick only one on your team, you want Pickens, you trade CD.
If I had to, if you held a gun to my head, I would go with George Pickens over CD Lamb. Nothing against CD Lamb. I like CD Lamb, but George Pickens has got a little extra something that I like, where he knows how to go slow on a route, then quickly hit a burst of speed that tricks defensive backs like no other. He's a fascinating to watch, and I feel really bad because when he was over in the Pittsburgh, I didn't respect it at all. I just thought quarterback can't get it to him. I don't know, and he's a fiasco.
Quarterback though.
Now that I see him paired with a good quarterback, I'm going, holy crap, this guy's a hidden talent. Like, he's not hidden. I mean, everyone knew he was talented, but this guy has something that I don't think a lot of quarterbacks respected, or you had a good enough quarterback to respect it. And now that he's paired with Dallas, I'm going, he's something else, man. And you got to do whatever it takes to keep him in. By the way, the franchise tag, it's just a franchise tag. You got to play something while you're in trade negotiations, or not trade, I'm sorry, contract negotiations with who happens to be Todd France. That's Dak's agent. Not good timing. No, I'm sorry. He's Micah's agent. He's got Micah's agent over there, which is, it's going to be touchy. I don't know how we're going to pull it off, but that's just part of it. You got to throw the franchise tag. What I'm scared of is coming this time in August, the negotiations are going to be ongoing, and Jerry's going to do what he does, where he badmouths a wide receiver, and then the agent goes back at him, and they keep going back and forth until something happens. But I think we're going to end up signing him. I'm just going with a hunch because I got it wrong with Micah.
No one else will pay that much for him. Unless there's a trade.
Maybe.
Unless there's a trade put in place to move him.
Yeah, it would be a trade put in place, but
it's hard to pay that much for wide. Yes, he's a very good wide receiver. He brought an extra dimension to Dallas. But there's so many good wide receivers coming out in this next draft. It's like, that's a lot of money to spend. I do have one more question for you, Cowboys related.
Mm-hmm.
Do you pay Brandon Aubrey $10 million a year, or do you tell him to take a hike?
So yeah, what you're reporting right now is the agent, or no, Stephen Jones probably leaked it to, I don't know who it was, one of the writers, and this is just what the Cowboys do, and it's so annoying because this is what writers do. They get into the contract dispute, and then stories get leaked out like this on purpose because Stephen Jones wants it. But
are you anti sports free press for players?
I just find it annoying because I'd rather Stephen Jones come out and say, I offered him $10.5 million and he said no, instead of
they're never having to do that. That's why we have reporters doing their jobs.
But we know what's going on, and that's what annoys me.
That's what the reporters are supposed to do. They didn't offer him $10.5 million. They offered him $7.5 million, and he said, "I'm worth 10."
Yeah. So that's what's going on. By the way, so they offered him $7.5 million. It was actually $7 million. He had to correct himself. By the way, okay. It wasn't $7.5 million, Rob. It was just $7 million. Like that matters.
That matters. That matters.
Like that matters in this whole thing. So
for kickers, that does.
We offered him the highest paid contract. We don't know. Yeah. For 500,000 is a lot for a kicker, but ultimately we offered him supposedly the highest paid contract. How much is guaranteed? We don't know. How much bonuses and incentives and weird little things out there? We don't know. And the agent comes out and then basically says, that we were looking for. No, I'm sorry. Stephen Jones and the crew came out and said they asked for 10. I don't know what's going
10.
on. We're not giving him 10. He's a kicker, not 10.
Are 10? You all in or not? He's the best kicker in the NFL.
I'm not. You're getting the highest paid. I love you, Brandon Aubrey. I love you, but this is exactly what the team's trying to get me to do, and that's what I don't like about it. It's like forcing you to turn on Brandon Aubrey and try to make him look like a bad guy.
Brandon Aubrey's not a bad guy.
No,
he's worth $10 million. With the way the rules have changed, he is worth $10 million. He's an automatic 3 points. And it's only 10 mil, so if he falls apart after next year, it's nothing on your cap. because you're going to sign a kicker for the league minimum and move on.
The key here is he doesn't have leverage, and that's the biggest issue. We put tenor on him.
He doesn't have leverage.
So
he
does not.
You're telling me that there are not 5 or 6 NFL teams out there that won't walk out and pay him at least $8.5 or $9 million a year?
If they pay him $8.5 or $9 million a year, he's a restricted free agent, and we put tenor on him. So he is. If someone has to pay him,
yeah, they give up a draft pick. With the way the
second
rules
round
he's worth it. He's automatic 3 points from 65 in. He's automatic 3 points.
Well, hey, he possibly is, but if I'm look at it through the Cowboys' perspective, just look at it through the Cowboys' perspective. If I've got that option, one, if they're saying we're only going to accept the deal if it's $10 million, the Cowboys are just going to sit there and look at you, go, we'll just put, what is it, tenor? I always forgot it. We'll basically make it to where another team will have to give up a draft pick to get you, and we're going to make them make an offer, and we're going to try to match it. So that's what the Cowboys are doing. They're just waiting. They're just waiting for someone to make that offer. And whenever someone makes that offer, they're probably going to match it and then keep them. And I guarantee you, it's not going to be $10 million. So it was the contract that he signed before. That's part of it.
Yeah, he's outperformed his contract.
Yeah, but he doesn't have leverage, is my point. Like, we'll wait and see. If a team offers him $8.5 million, we'll pay him the $8.5 million. But we got to wait for that team to step up. And so far, no team. I just looked at it. So far, no team has stepped up.
Yeah, it's early in free agency. It's not going to happen yet. It's going to be later on. But if I'm Dallas, I just go ahead and pay him that and move on.
Why? Because we don't know the market right now. He's saying he's $10 million. Cowboys are saying the highest paid is here. I don't know. We're going to wait for the NFL to decipher that. And whenever they make that offer, we're going to make our move. So I have no problem with whatever the Cowboys are doing. This is against Todd France. This one's Dak's agent. I'm getting so confused with agents, and he's really good at making a lot of good deals. So we'll see if it works out. But I got to tell you, I never expected such a heated discussion over a kicker, but I love it.
He did. He's worth his money. He's worth his money. And if Jerry's truly all in, that's nothing.
Now, you're not as cap strung as us because we already paid our quarterback, right? But if you were in a position to go get Brandon Aubrey, would you do that as a Patriots fan? Losing my voice.
Yes, with an asterisk, just because where did he kick? The thing is he like the dome thing versus the cold weather thing.
It's a big one. That's a big one.
Whereas obviously we've got a kicker that proved he can handle it. So it's tough. If our kicker didn't, ball out from weeks 2 through the Super Bowl, I would say, oh my goodness, go ahead and go bring him in. But our kicker did, so we don't need it at the moment. But if I am, I don't know, the Niners, if I am if I'm the Texans, if I'm the Eagles and I just want to freaking mess with the Cowboys.
Yeah. They can't. They're in cap hell. Like, they don't even have.
The Rams have shown everyone the cap is just a figment of everyone's imagination. The Rams have proved that over the years.
So, the way the Cowboys did it is they were able to restructure $90 million, right? Eagles cannot restructure. They're done. They're at the bare minimum. They're at what the Cowboys will be here in the next 4 years. So it's Jaleel Carter is on the trading block because of this kind of stuff. So,
right.
But yeah, they're in some trouble right now. They'll be fine. I will take whatever the Eagles do. just as a front office over the Cowboys, obviously, because they got 2 Super Bowls with 2 different quarterbacks. So I'm not besmirching them. It's just right now is a bad time for the Eagles in the offseason.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a couple teams out there that are close that could want to go ahead and pay it,
maybe,
but I don't
maybe,
know.
but we'll see. We'll see.
I'm not one to sign with the billionaire owners when they can just pay the money and have a happy player.
Yeah. Well, the players signed the CBA, so this is what we got. This is what we're doing with, and until that changes, then the NFL CBA Players Union is one of the worst unions in all
The fact that they don't have
sports.
fully
It's the
guaranteed
highest paid
contracts,
league. And
the lack of fully paid
it's
contracts is
embarrassing.
embarrassing. In the next CBA, like
And
the
in
NFL
base,
should not continue. They should hold out as long as they need. Get themselves guaranteed contracts.
you think, but the players always cave. It's because they've got lower contracts that actually really need the money, the $200,000-$300,000 contracts, and those players are the ones that are like, just I don't care, I want to play. The veterans are the ones that are like, yeah, we'll hold out forever. Well,
Because they're sad.
there's a lot of small time players in the
Well,
NFL.
the average career is what, 3 years? Even
And
more
that's all you
reason why
get.
you roll with it and say let's go. Hell, they can all go play in the UFL. They can still make a salary. They'll have their housing paid for.
Look at this. My woman heard my voice and got me some water. Thank you. It was real
Yes.
sweet. Yeah. Shout out to Kat.
Speaking of that UFL,
Yes. Okay, guys. So normally we do UFL content over here, and we're right now. Me and Rob, we're just waiting in the weeds. We're always going to get into Boston, Dallas sports still during the UFL season, but as of right now, we're just waiting for the season to start, and there just isn't that much news. So Rob came up with a wonderful idea that I really liked. So all you viewers that are watching right now, if you're just an NFL fan, we're just trying to talk you into why you should watch a UFL because it's really good content. And each of us are going to pick one topic all until March 28th when the season starts, and basically try to make a selling point of why the UFL is so great. So, Rob, you came up with this idea. And you mentioned it in text already. What are you looking forward to in the next UFL season?
yeah. So if I was going to lead with anything, longtime viewers of the pod know I very very quickly pretty much shed my San Antonio Brahma fandom. And I just from the quality of the play quickly fell in love with the DC Defenders and just about everything that they were doing. Shocker, they went ahead and they won the whole thing last year, and they're your defending champs. And the big reason, besides Shannon Harris just pushing all the right buttons, reason why he's the only coach returning for the same franchise this year, going into this league year. He pushed all the right buttons. He made it happen. But you had the uncrowned king, the uncrowned rightful MVP in Jordan Tiamu. If you look at the numbers and then you look at the head-to-head and what went down in the UFL championship game, it is absolutely atrocious that the UFL went with Bryce Perkins, who didn't even start every game. And quite often, his head coach, Mike Nolan, did everything he could to bench him and not play him um, as the league MVP. Was Bryce Perkins an exciting player on the field? Yes. Was he the best player in the league? No. But one of the things the UFL did last year, again, longtime listeners of the pod are nodding, is any time that there was some sort of story that might have gotten traction outside of the UFL, they latched onto it and wouldn't let go and oversaturated it beyond. And Bryce Perkins had some highlight reel plays, and next thing you know it, he's the MVP. He never should have been the MVP. The correct MVP is Jordan Tiamu. He was, if you're gonna, and you can go back and you can easily pull up, if you look Jordan Tiamu highlights, there's plenty of highlights with video packages up on YouTube all over the place. And what you see is someone that you go, this guy could start in the NFL. He's polished, he's decisive, he does not panic under pressure. He didn't have a single fumble the whole season. He threw for 17 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions. And if you look around the league at the other quarterbacks, you're like, holy crap, that's a really good ratio. Because let's be honest, yes, we like this football. Yes, it's good football. But there's a reason why they're playing in the spring league for the most part, over playing in the NFL. They also don't get nearly as many reps as NFL players do. And so you see a little bit of that rush throughout the season. You see some dumb plays happen, and you're like, how do you do that? You almost never saw that with Tiamu at all. He was poised. He could throw a dart through a window and hit a target. And unlike other teams, looking at San Antonio, where their receivers couldn't handle the ball and just kept dropping it, that didn't happen in DC. He had decent enough receivers that they could actually bring in a catch. And they were, those of you that are NBA fans, there's always a joke about league pass teams. You get the NBA league pass. Who do you want to pull up and watch because they're really exciting? Last year, you'd say probably Oklahoma City Thunder were one of those teams. When healthy, the Celtics are one of those teams. Lob City back in the day was definitely one of those teams. The league pass team for the UFL last year was the DC Defenders. They played so well, and they all followed Jordan Tiamu's lead, and that's why he went ahead and won it. So if you're looking like, they keep talking about it, pull up Jordan Tiamu highlights, pull up highlights of the UFL championship game. It's awesome. Now, one of the things that frustrates me often that we talk about it with the UFL is it's hard to pull up stats. You can't go anywhere and pull up game-by-game stats on any official UFL sites for Tiamu for last year, which is mind-boggling. You think you could? They just pretty much will pull. Yeah, even on the DC Defenders website.
Well, I was saying even on PFF. PFF used to keep track of spring football, and they don't do that anymore because, I don't know, the UFL is getting real strict. But I hope Mike Repoli fixes that. I hope he open sources their information again, because it was real frustrating last year when you wanted to dig up stats to make arguments and things like that, and we just couldn't find that money.
Yeah, which is really, really tough. I mean, even I can't, like, I'm on the DC Defenders website right now, and I click on Jordan Tiamu's bio, and it's like, it finally popped up. So his stats for last season, all right. His stats for last season, regular season, he played in 9 games. He had a 92.9 efficiency rating, all right. He had a 54.4% completion rating. Yeah, that's not that great, but look around the league. It was up there for quarterbacks because the receiver play just wasn't that good. Like I said, he had 17 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions. He didn't have a single fumble, and he didn't lose a single fumble. In the postseason, those numbers jumped from 54% to 72.2%. All right. He had 5 touchdowns, no fumbles. I don't believe he had a single pick. So, and he led his team to the title, and it was impressive. So if you want to get excited about something, you want something, go check out Jordan Tiamu and DC Defenders highlights from last year. You'll probably even see some beer snake action because it is what it is. DC Defenders, get excited.
Yeah, I love watching the DC Defenders. They're pretty good out there. And they're going to be really fun and exciting to watch. I say I love them as just a watching fan, but being a Renegades fan, I cheer against them like no other. It's kind of a weird rivalry, but you love the ones you hate, right? So they complete me, Rob. But yeah, and just mention, I guess, on my point on things that I really do enjoy about the UFL. My favorite thing about the UFL is the fact that you just find some no-name player that you are going to complain, scream, and yell at the NFL for why aren't you picking this guy up? And last year, that great example was Bryce Perkins, who's now in the CFL, but I know they're going to find another one out there. There's only 8 teams in the league. They had plenty of good quarterbacks last year. Unfortunately, it looked like the Stallions had them all. But they had plenty of good quarterbacks to go around all throughout it. And you're going to find some no-name players out there who you don't know right now, but end up performing really well and wanting them to go into the NFL and scream at your team for not picking them up as a backup. That's the most enjoyable part of the game for me. That's what I really like. It's just knowing some players that other people don't. I feel like you're cheating on life when you're watching on the UFL because you're watching football in the spring, and I feel like God said that can't happen, but we're making it happen. So I love it. I love the league. Rob was talking about his favorite player over there, and I've got mine, of course, Luis Perez over in the Dallas Renegades. And I do want to talk about that some more, and we will talk about it on our next show. Just keep on the lookout for all the 47 listeners. I'm going to be shooting out an article here really shortly, probably release it on Friday. That's my prediction. Basically talking about the changes that the Renegades are going to be making. And then we're going to talk about that article because I'm self-centered and I want to talk about what I write. So it should be a lot of fun next week, and we'll do a little bit of a deeper dive on Luis Perez out there as well.
Are you going to have a book review?
You know what? I guarantee you this, Rob, because I've compared a little. I think I write better than Luis Perez.
He really needed a ghostwriter for that book.
No comment.
He needed a ghostwriter for that book. I love to read. I had to put it down halfway through. It honestly felt, and hey, he's a great story. He's an unbelievably good spring quarterback. He wins. I felt like I was reading like a junior high person writing a book, maybe elementary. I don't know. It was rough. But he's a winning quarterback.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, Rob, not a big fan. We were supposed to review that book, and then Rob just gave me the don't do it. Don't do it. Just save yourself some time. So I did. But hopefully my article's better. We'll see. Rob, if it's not, let me know. But it should be a lot of fun.
Better. It will be better. Okay. I've read your articles before. It will be better.
Okay. Well, it should be released on Friday, and we'll definitely talk about that some more. And, of course, Luis Perez is going to be a topic of conversation with that because that's my boy. I just love me some Luis Perez out there. For now, though, Rob, we're getting to an hour and 30, and we appreciate the audience staying along. And thank you guys for following us. Feel free to like and subscribe. But, Rob, if they're not watching us now, where else could they watch us?
Yeah, for sure. And if you found us on X, thank you so much for following us. Make sure to follow our X page, the Nick and Rob Homer Hour, to stay up to date on everything there. You can also catch us in all of our past episodes and shorts on YouTube at the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. Please go ahead, pop over there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share with a friend. You can find us there. We are also on Instagram and Blue Sky as well at the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. So just go ahead and search that and we will pop up. Go ahead, give us a follow. We are on once a week on Tuesday evenings, and then you can either watch us live or you can catch up throughout the week. And then once the UFL season gets going, once the MLB season and NHL playoffs get going, we'll have some of our world famous watch-alongs as well for some of these games. And you don't want to miss those.
Not at all. Not at all. And it'll be a lot of fun heading the year. Big shout out to MSU Detroit fan. And of course, we got Poro Games. I want to pronounce it right. Inc. By the way, follow him on YouTube if you're interested in video game content. But appreciate you guys for jumping along, giving us a little messages. And for the other 48 viewers, feel free to chat along with us. We will be sure to do the comments. So if you follow us next week, we will definitely play along and get your comments out there. But for now, Rob, I guess we're going to see him next week.
See y'all next week. Have a good one.